This is another video about the UFO. Just like obsessed about this UFO for some reason. Same thing. I don't want to talk about this anymore. This is the USS Princeton UFO encounter back in 2004. I'm interested in the following. The USS Princeton caught that UFO 60 miles away from Commander Fravors' location about several seconds later. So that UFO traveled 60 miles in just a couple seconds. I've been assuming 5 seconds. So travel 60 miles in 5 seconds. And right now it's May 20th, about 6:12 p.m. May 20th, 2021. Yesterday I made a video about my thought using this UFO as a probe to explore the solar system. But right now I want to talk about something. It's the G-force. Because yesterday in the previous video I mentioned the G-force of 20 to 40 times G. I just threw that number out without doing any calculation. And I suspected there was no green little man or alien sitting in that probe, because that UFO, the TicTac UFO, accelerates so fast. The G must be tremendous. So I suspect there were no life forms sitting inside the UFO. It could be most likely an artificial intelligence UFO. It's not even remotely controlled. Or if it's remotely controlled, it's only remotely controlled at a certain time, not all the time. The rest of the time, the UFO is flying by itself. That's why you see that UFO accelerate so fast away from the F-18s coming from the USS Nimitz in November or October 2004. So I looked online. My physics has been pretty spotty. I remember I took advanced physics back in class, but it's been a long time. I can't even remember the basic idea. All I know is time, distance. Take a derivative of that, you get time and velocity. You take a derivative of that, and you get time and acceleration. So I have to go to the internet and then try to figure out what kind of equation I need to use to figure out the G-force. Now, before I do that, I have to make some assumptions. So here it is. I hope my pen works. Hold on. My pen doesn't work. My fountain pen doesn't work. I'm going to try my regular pen. So this is what I do. I assume the UFO 60 miles, 5 seconds. Okay? I divide into 3 equal parts, just for sake of simplicity. Okay, this is 20 miles, 40 miles, and 60 miles. UFO takeoff from here, which is the Fravors or his co-pilot's current position, and the UFO take off 60 miles away in 5 seconds. So 5 seconds, I just take 5 divided by 3, just for the sake of simplicity. I come out with like close to 1.66 seconds for each segment. Okay, so the UFO, I assume uniform acceleration. UFO takes off uniform acceleration, stop accelerating, coasts with constant velocity, and then decelerates. What I care about is this piece. Because if you maintain constant velocity at the 40-mile mark, it will just decelerate at the same rate when it was accelerating from 0 to 20. That's my understanding. I could be wrong. I have no idea. I probably have to double check. If I made a mistake, I'll probably make another video. But I just want to make a video to talk about, to estimate what if I can estimate the G-force suffer or experience, not suffer, by the UFO. So this is the formula I got of the equation. That's the distance displacement, initial velocity, time, plus 1/2 acceleration time square. So assume this is 0, this is 20. So I travel, I hope I'm doing this right. Travel 20 miles. Okay. I assume the initial velocity is 0, but obviously it's not, because I remember when Fravor and his co-pilot was circling around this UFO, the UFO had some sort of velocity, but I'm just assuming it as 0 for the sake of simplicity. I know it's going to take me a while to figure out what kind of speed that F-18 was chasing that UFO, but I couldn't find it. Anyway, I just assumed it's 0. So this number could be slightly higher than what actually happened. The g-force. So 0 multiplied by t plus 1/2 acceleration. A is the number I'm interested. T square. Convert 20 miles to meters. I hope I'm getting this right. I'm doing everything in meters. Because at the end is I want to compare it to the Earth gravity, which is 9.8 meters per second per second. 20. How many? Computer. What's 20 miles to meters?
20 miles is about 32,190 meters.
Okay, so 32,190 meters. My actual number is 321. A6.9 meters. This is 0, so that's 0. 1/2 acceleration to the 1.66 square. 0 multiplied by time is 0, so this term came out to 0, so it disappears. So I'm solving for A. Multiply 2 on both sides to get rid of this 1/2. I got 6, 4, 3, 7, 3.8. Let's try this. Computer. 32186.9 times 2.
32,186.9 times 2 is 64,373.8.
So my number is right. Okay, so that's A. Acceleration. 1.6. Computer. 1.66 to the square.
1.66 squared is 2.7556.
Okay, so A come out. This is meters. A is. Probably want to use my. If I'm not mistaken. 673.8 divided by 2.756. So it's 23361.1 meter per second square. Earth gravity G is 9.8, so it's take this number divided by that number, I come out to be 2383.AG. So by the time the UFO uniform acceleration get to the 20-mile mark, it's traveling the acceleration is 23361.1 meter per second per second. Divided by 9.8, that's Earth's gravity, which is meter per second I got 2,383.8 G's. Okay, that's enormous. Okay, most fighter pilot can't even go beyond 9 G's. And I looked online that 100 G can just kill a human being. Okay, 100G kills a human being. 9G is like fighter pilot. Maximum. Not maximum, but you are getting a blackout. You probably won't die, but you'll get a blackout. So this is 2,383.8 Gs. So what velocity is the UFO traveling at the 20-mile mark? I take velocity u initial speed plus acceleration t. So v equals 0 plus this number 23361.1 multiplied by 1.66. Velocity is 38779.426 meter per second, which is around 113.06 Mach. So about 100 times faster than the speed of sound at that point. So the UFO takes off at 2,383.8 Gs of acceleration force, get to the 20-mile mark, coast at 38,779 meters per second, which is 113 times speed of sound, and then decelerates. Therefore, if there is a corporeal being, like a physical object, a physical organism sitting inside that UFO without any sort of protection, or what Star Trek fan calls a initial dampening system to counter the G-force, whoever is sitting in there gets slammed back into the backside of the UFO and smashed to pieces. It will be whoever that person or that alien is going to be smushed. Instant death, basically. So, and then it goes at hypersonic speed, and then it slows down. Now, I don't know, the deceleration, I don't calculate it, but I imagine it's just the opposite. You're slowing down the other direction. So if you survive the initial acceleration, you also have to survive the afterward deceleration. So this number, if I'm correct, is enormous. Whoever in there is going to be dead within 1.66 seconds. Less than that. Okay, once it accelerates, less than that. It's just mind-boggling. That's why, if my calculation is correct, I highly doubt there's any alien sitting in that UFO. Okay, in 2004, that was encountered by the U.S.'s Nimitz F-18 pilots. I highly suspect there is nobody inside, and then it's remotely controlled, and it's artificial intelligence. It's remotely controlled, most likely artificial intelligence. But I probably have good confidence. There's no, if you capture that UFO, you open it up, you're not going to find any organism or any alien is sitting in there. Unless they have technology that can counter this kind of G-force. Okay, that's it. Anyway, if I find out any mistake, I'll probably do this calculation again. Thank you.